I'm gonna keep the blanket on while we warm up. All right, sitting comfortably, welcome. So tonight's practice is just going to be a nice, simple general class. We will be doing some standing postures, but lots of work on the mat and modified floor-based sun salutations. So we'll still get warm. You'll still get a circulation happening, but just wanted to do something a little bit more grounded for our winter class. All right, so closing your eyes, place your hands in your lap or palms down on your knees. And just take a moment to really soften your body, softening your shoulders down away from your ears and your hips and legs down toward the floor. Take a nice big inhale and lift up through your spine, keeping your body soft. And just taking a moment here to compartmentalize your day. Just sifting through. Just go a little mute for people logging on. Just sifting through the happenings of the day. I think, is it Denise, if you wouldn't mind muting?
Doon kasi sa, doon kasi sa center.
I think
Meron
it's
doon.
Hi, Belle. There we go. Sorry. All right. Back to sifting through our day and just compartmentalizing, acknowledging and compartmentalizing some of the things that happened. Any strong emotions that we may have felt today. Just acknowledging those experiences and setting them aside mentally. And now bringing your awareness into the present. Noticing the sounds around you. It's a beautiful, cozy, rainy night here on the Gold Coast. I can hear the raindrops and the cars driving through the puddles, making that ripping of water sound over the tarmac. It's quite beautiful. Starting to notice the feeling of the air on your skin and your clothes resting on your body. Now bringing your awareness to your breath. Really taking our time to tune into our breath tonight. I'm going to spend a little extra time breathing at the beginning of our practice. And just starting by observing your breath without changing it. Noticing the feeling of the air entering your nose and flowing down your throat and into your lungs. Notice the temperature of the air as it enters your nose. And observe the gentle expansion and contraction of your body as you breathe in and out. And while this isn't a formal or official technique, just know that even taking your awareness to your breath throughout your day can really help to relax and calm your mind, relax your body. Now gradually starting to deepen your breath. Consciously inhaling for the count of 4. And exhaling for the count of 4. Inhaling for 4. Exhale for 4. Just continuing on, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4 in your own time. And we'll cycle the breath in this way for about 8 more rounds. Just a few more rounds. And from here, shifting into Nadi Shodhan, alternate nostril breathing. Taking your thumb and your middle finger to your nose and just alternating, pressing the right nostril in and then the left nostril in. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling through the right nostril, closing off the left. Close the right nostril, exhale out the left. Inhale through the left nostril. Close it off, exhaling out the right. And just continue on, inhaling. Closing off the nostril, exhaling out the other side. Inhale. Close off the nostril, exhale out the other side. Continuing for about another 5 rounds on each side. And one more time on each side. And release your hand back down to your lap. Just sit for a moment, breathing through both nostrils, returning to your regular breathing pattern. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart center. And for tonight's pranayama mantra breathing, instead of Gauranga, we're going to use the mantra Om Hari Om. So inhaling the sound Om Hari Om into your mind silently, and then as you exhale, saying the sound Om Hari Om for the entire length of our exhalation. So let's empty our lungs completely. Take a deep breath in. Om Hari Om. Continue on. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. 2 more rounds. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Return to your regular breathing, allowing the effects of the mantra to resonate through your mind and heart. And opening your eyes if you'd like, maybe keeping them half closed. Coming into some seated warm-ups. And just starting by dropping back into your spine, chin down and towards your chest, drawing back against your knees. And then inhale, lift your belly forward, look forward, lifting through your sternum. Exhale, drop back. Moving with your breath, inhale, open and lengthen. Exhale, rounding through your spine, drop back into your belly. One more time each way, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center. The left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you, turning to look over your right shoulder. Using that left hand to help you lift and rotate around. Staying with that nice steady breath that we've cultivated. Slowly return to center, change sides. Right hand to the left knee, left hand planted behind you, turning to look over your left shoulder. Lift through the spine, press the right hand against your knee. Keeping a nice steady breath. Slowly come back to center. Take your left hand to the floor, raise your right arm up and over, going into a side reach. Inhaling up, over to the other side. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale the hand back down. Taking the arm up and over and really seeing how far you can drop that lower elbow down toward the floor, but still keeping your right hip anchored into the floor. So nice big stretch. And inhale, come up. Exhale. Right hand down to the floor and start to lower that elbow down. Inhale, the left arm up and over, anchoring the left hip down. Reaching, reaching, dropping that forearm down. Excellent. Come back to center. Take some shoulder rolls. And come back in the opposite direction now. Beautiful. And take the left arm across, right arm underneath, drawing your arm across. So as you bring your forearm across, see if you can set that shoulder back to help elongate through your arm. And release. Change sides. Drawing the right arm across. And drawing the right right shoulder back as you bring your forearm right across over to the left. Beautiful. Release. Take your left arm under, right arm over, intertwining your forearms, coming into Garuda arms. Raise your arms up, set the shoulders down your back. And lower your elbows down slightly, tilting your forearms forward. Raise the arms up, switch sides. Intertwining your arms, raising the arms up. You might feel your shoulders are a little tighter on one side, particularly computer arm or dental arm maybe. And lower the elbows down, and now tilting your forearms forward. And slowly release, unravel your arms. Place your hands back behind you. Take your feet out in front, knees wide apart, and rocking your knees from side to side, going into some windscreen wipers. I must say, these pants are probably 10 years old, and you can see the hip difference. You know, everything's high-waisted these days. I'm like, oh, this is so 90s. So early 2000s, hips to pants. And inhale, come back to center. Drop the right knee down, pressing your knee down to the floor. We're warming up for half hero. Then take the left knee down, press the knee down, both hips to the floor. Raise the knee up. Now inhaling, I'll come forward for this. Sitting up nice and tall, both feet together, dropping your knee down and in. Tucking your foot under, so the top of your foot is on the floor. Interlock your hands in front of your knees, sitting up nice and tall. Taking a couple of breaths here. And release. Raise the right knee up, foot to the floor, and drop the left knee down and in. Tucking your foot in by your hip. Interlock your hands in front of your knee, lifting up tall through the spine. Keeping your hips anchored down. And release. And bring both feet out in front. All right, so we've warmed up our hips a little. We're going to now go into another hip rotational exercise, half lotus pose. So options here are to just go into a more relaxed foot stacked on top of the lower leg, as if you're doing a seated, just a cross-legged position. If your hip allows it, so you shouldn't feel any tinges in your knee, you can raise your foot up, just giving a little bit of a hug in of your lower leg to help stretch and open through your hip. Maybe a few little rocks from side to side to get some synovial fluid flowing into that hip joint. And then when you feel ready, placing the top of your foot to the top of your left thigh. So I'm going right knee and foot on top first, coming into half lotus. And we'll just take a few deep breaths here. Close your eyes if you like. Try to relax down through your hips, but lift up through your spine. And exhale, release. Taking that foot under. And now just nestling the left foot on top of the lower leg, starting in that position first. And if you feel you can go further, raising the lower leg up and hug your ankle in, hug your foot in, stretching out through the outer hip, maybe rocking the baby a little from side to side. Good. And if you can, lowering that foot on top of the opposite thigh, finding yourself in half lotus. Close your eyes, relax. One more full breath. And slowly release. Taking both feet out in front. Rock your knees from side to side. Good. And come over onto all fours. All right, taking your hips back to your heels, reaching out into your fingertips and your hands, and lower your head to the floor. Inhale, dive your chest forward in between your hands, belly to the floor, elbows working in, warming up our cobra to begin. So we'll go 5 waves. Inhale, starting nice and small. Exhale, lower down. Moving with your breath, gradually lifting a little higher each time. All right, one more time. Lift up and hold. Nestling your elbows into your ribs, press the floor away, taking your gaze up. And reach back into your toes and lengthen out of your lower back area. Knees to the floor, tuck your toes, lifting back into downward dog. So just really taking it easy for your first one, warming up first, lifting and lowering your heels, alternating from side to side while you have a look at your hands and just check that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. And inhale, raise both heels as high as you can, straighten out through your legs, then really lift, 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 big energy up into your hips, pressing the floor away. Lots of lift, and then exhale, lower your heels down toward the floor. Staying here for a few breaths. Now look between your hands. Shift your weight forward, coming into plank. Lengthen back into your heels. Take your time to come into the pose properly. Squeeze your glutes, belly drawing in. Elbows in, look forward, lower down, chaturanga. And belly to the floor. Inhale, cobra. And from here, inhale, press up onto the top of your feet, coming up into upward dog, lifting the hips. Exhale, turn the feet under, come back into downward dog. So this is going to be our sun salute alternative for tonight's class. We're going to do a few more of those. Inhale, come forward into plank. Full breath here. Looking forward, elbows in, lower down, belly to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, half lower. Inhale, come up, upward dog. And lift back into downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And on your next exhale, elbows in, lower down. Hold chaturanga. Exhale, belly to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, half lower down. Set yourself up to press up into upward dog. Inhale. Exhale, lift back into downward dog. Take a full breath. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Squeeze, 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 navel drawing in, look forward. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Belly to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, half lower down. Inhale, press up, upward dog. Exhale, lift back, downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Full breath. And gently lower down on your next exhale, belly to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, half lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, lift back, downward dog. And knees to the floor, hips to your heels, arms by your sides, come and rest in downward dog. Staying here for 5 full breaths. And feeling your belly expand and contract against your thighs. One last inhale. Exhale. Take your hands forward. Press yourself back up into downward dog. Grounding down through your feet. Walk your hands back. And find yourself in a standing forward fold. So if you're still feeling a little like you need a bit of time to warm up through your hamstrings, bend through your knees, lay your belly over your thighs and fold forward. Otherwise, straightening out through your legs, scoop the belly in and folding forward. And when you're ready, take your first 2 fingers around your big toes and drawing against your toes or a belt under the soles of your feet to help encourage your upper body to move in toward your legs. And see if you can observe as you inhale, feel a slight lengthening through your spine, lengthening and stretching sensation. And as you exhale, feel a softening but also deepening of the stretch. Even if it's just very, very minute, or maybe even on the mental level, subtle physical experience. One more breath. Now release your grip from your feet or your belt. Hands to the floor. Slide your hands up your shins, coming into half forward fold or flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Take hold of your ankles, draw your upper body in. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward, draw in. Inhale one more time, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Now inhale, walking your hands out. Coming back into downward dog. Staying here for a breath. And inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Drop your back knee down and flatten your back foot. Inhale, coming into a lunge. Raise your arms up above your head. Exhale, sinking your hips down toward the floor. Staying here for about 5 breaths. See if you can simultaneously keep your hips moving downwards, allowing gravity to draw them down, releasing any resistance in your mind. And at the same time, lift right up out of your waist, lift through the arms, lift into the fingertips, set your shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale, lower your arms down. Take your hands either side of your front foot and walk your front foot across to the outside edge of your mat and dropping your hips down toward the floor, coming into a diagonal stretch. Place both hands on the floor underneath your shoulders and rolling your hips a little. Just moving into the different areas of your hip joints. And come back to the midline where you're just going to relax into the stretch. And if you feel you could take it deeper, we're not going to raise our back knee up just yet. Just slowly progressing into this dragon position. Drop down onto your forearms if you like. So it becomes quite a deep stretch in the hips here. Just take your time. You might like to have one hand on the floor to help lift a little if it's getting too intense. And then turn to look over your right shoulder, placing your right hand on top of your right knee. Now here, if you like, tuck your back toes under, raise the back leg. Lower the knee down. Flatten through the back foot. Both hands to the floor, come up. Now walking that foot back so that it's aligned with your hip again, coming back into a regular lunge. If you need a little break from your hips, just lifting your hips up out of the pose a little. And left hand to the floor, raising the back foot up, taking hold of your back foot. If that feels like no way, you can't get to it, you can also create a little lasso with your belt and tuck it around that back foot, holding onto the belt. Start to draw that heel in close, as close as you can toward your hip, and keep your hips moving down toward the floor. Slowly release. Both hands to the floor. Step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale. Upward dog. Exhale. Lift back. Downward dog. Take a full breath. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward. Drop your back knee down and flatten your back foot. Inhale your arms up as you exhale and soften your hips down toward the floor. I'm trying to cultivate that same kind of lift and surrender. Surrendering the hips down. Surrendering them to gravity. And then inhale, lifting your upper body. Slowly lower your arms down. Hands to the floor. Walking that foot across to the outside edge of your mat. Both hands to the floor underneath your shoulders. And settling into that diagonal stretch first. And begin to roll your hips a little. Rolling through this elongated range of motion. Come back to center. And drop down onto your forearms, taking it nice and slow, gradually moving into this more intense version of the pose. Just taking your time, using one hand for support if you don't want to go drop all the way in. And slowly press yourself up. Taking the right forearm to the floor and left hand to your knee. Turning to look over your shoulder. And further still, Tuck the back toes under and raise that back knee, turning to look right over your shoulder and allowing your hips to either be quite fixed and neutral and bringing the twist mainly into your spine, or you can just really relax and let go through the hips. Kind of let it contort all the way from the top of your thigh, your hips, right up your spine to your neck. Exhale. Release. Both hands to the floor. Releasing out of that diagonal stretch, shifting your foot back to center. And reaching for your back foot with your left hand, right hand planted on the floor in front of you. And just start drawing that heel in, trying to still encourage your hips down toward the floor. And release. Finding your way back into downward dog. Stretching out through both legs. And bring both knees to the floor. Big toes together. Take your knees out wide. I keep trying to pull my pants up, but they don't go up any higher. It's just low cut. I'm reaching your hands forward and softening your belly, softening your chest, softening your head down to the floor, toward the floor. And walking your hands over to the left. Nice big side reach. Inhale, bring them back to center and over to the other side. And come back to center. Take one more full body breath here, feeling the breath sweeping throughout every cell in your body. And then press yourself back up into all fours, lifting back into downward dog. Take a full breath here. Now inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Shift your weight forward, but keep your fingertips to the floor, reaching forward, forward, forward. And we're going to keep our chest lifted. So it's like a half standing forward fold or flat back position, raising the left leg behind you. So it's not quite a standing split. Draw the belly in, scooping in through your lower belly, and try to lift back into your toes and reach forward with the floor, reaching your sternum forward. Holding this position, keeping that left hip working down. Exhale, walk your hands back toward your feet, your foot. Drop your back foot to the floor, lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. So same on the other side, taking your hands forward and shift your weight forward, lifting through the chest, flat back, raising that back leg up, keeping the right hip rolling down. Reach back into your toes, reach forward into your sternum. Exhale, lower the foot to the floor, step back, lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward. All right, now repeat that if that felt like enough of a challenge. Otherwise, inhale, shifting forward, taking that back leg up, softly bend through this right knee. And inhale, lifting your hands up off the floor, bringing your hands to prayer position, keeping the left hip rolling down, squeeze the hips in toward each other, shoulders down away from your ears. Keeping your breath steady. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back into plank, lower down, inhaling up, exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up, exhale, step your foot forward. Shift your weight forward, fingertips to the floor, start to float the leg up, soft bend through your left knee. And bring your hands to prayer position in front of your heart center, keeping that back leg raised, hips working in toward each other, navel drawing in. And release. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Holding here for a breath. All right, so now we are going to go take it into standing split or half split. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step your foot forward in between your hands. Inhale, hands stay on the floor this time. Now this time, inhale, lift, lift, lift. And we're actually going to draw our belly and our chest in toward that standing leg. So I like to have one hand, my left hand on the floor, wrap my right hand behind my ankle, and use that arm to draw in as I float that back leg up. So it does take a little bit of exertion raising that back leg up. Staying here for another couple of breaths. And exhale. Bend through the front knee, step the back foot down. Step back into plank, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Hands reach forward, inhale, shift your weight forward, raise your back leg up. Left hand takes hold of the back of the left calf or ankle. I nearly said cankle. And right hand gripping to the floor for a little bit of balance. So drawing your upper body in toward your leg as you raise that back leg up. And then holding this position. Exhale. Both hands to the floor. Foot reaches for the floor, step back. Plank, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Let's take a child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide apart. Come forward, but take the right arm down and through, going into a thread the needle position. You're just getting a little bit of a gentle shoulder stretch here. If you want to take that top arm back, you can do same, thread the needle arms. Taking that hand back, threading your hand in front of your right thigh. Slowly unravel. Press yourself up. Let's do the other side. Taking that left arm down and through. And right arm floats up, back and around. Either resting on your sacrum or in front of your thigh. Slowly unravel. Come back up. Press yourself back up into downward dog. If you like to have a block for half moon, just make sure you go and grab your block now. Otherwise, we'll hang here for a couple of breaths while you get your props ready. So it's a similar focus, similar setup going into half moon as we have been doing for the other poses. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Looking forward in between your hands, step your foot forward, then shift your weight forward, hands reaching for the floor. Taking your right hand down to the floor. Inhale, let's get our legs set up. So you're floating that leg up, roll the hips open, and then flex that left foot away. Squeeze the hips in toward each other. And then inhale, raise the left arm up, pressing the sole of your foot away. And that standing foot is very active. Lots of biofeedback happening in your foot, helping to shift your weight, keeping you balanced. Navel drawing in. Exhale, lower your hand to the floor, roll your hips back to center, foot to the floor, hands to the floor, step back into plank, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale, downward dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg up, exhale, look forward, step forward, shift your weight forward. So that leg can already float up, gripping the left hand to the floor or pressing into your block. Roll the hips open, flex the foot away, then inhale, float that right arm up. And once your legs feel nice and steady, really try to open up through your front body. Nice and broad through the chest. Keep breathing steadily, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4. Exhale, slowly release, hand to the floor, roll the hip back to center, lower the leg to the floor, step back into plank, lower down. Inhale, exhale, downward dog. Hold for a full breath. Inhale, raise your right leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward. Foot in between the hands, drop the back knee to the floor. And just take a nice relaxed lunge position. As a fun challenge, we're going to head on up to sun salute from lunge. Tuck the back toes under and inhale. See if you can lift and express right up and open, straight from the floor. Good. Soft bend through that front knee, lower the leg down, hand down, come back into lunge. Hand to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back knee to the floor, flatten the back foot. Settling into lunge. Already envision it in your mind. We've already practiced it. So now it's just inviting your body into that experience. Tuck the back toes under to help you lift. Reach for the floor, lift up. Slowly release. Back toes to the floor, knee to the floor, lunge. Hands to the floor. Step back, lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale. Lift back into downward dog. One full breath. And then drop your knees to the floor. Hips to your heels, folding forward in child's pose. 5 breaths here. Inhale, coming up for our last standing sequence. Take your hands forward, lift back into downward dog. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, step your foot forward. And spin the back foot down at an angle. Come all the way up to stand. Setting yourself up for triangle, so your heel is aligned with the middle of your back foot. Raise the arms, shoulder height, and really get nice and strong through this front leg. Lift the kneecap, firm the thighs. Same with the back leg, reaching out over that right leg, lowering your hand down to your ankle, taking your arm up, turning your gaze either down to that lower foot or up just beyond your fingertips. Holding steady here for 5 breaths. Making the most of every breath. Inhale. Coming up, leading through the top fingers, coming up to stand, rotating your feet around over to the other side. Lift and lengthen over that left leg, lower the hand down, taking the arm up. Leading up through the top fingers, come all the way up. Spin the feet all the way around to the right now, getting ready for a folding triangle. For a modified version, bend through that front knee. Otherwise, hands to your hips and lift and lengthen through your spine as you fold over that front leg. Take your hands reaching for the floor, nice long spine, long through the front of your body. Scoop the belly in and then fold over your front leg, trying to keep your hips neutral, not swinging out to the side. So if they do start to shift out to the side, it's usually a compensation that we're going too deep into the pose. So you might be able to prop yourself up or take some blocks underneath your hands. Inhale. Come up, soft bend through the knee. Hands to the hips, lift up. Rotate the feet all the way around to the other side. Lift up, lengthen, and fold forward. And hands to the floor or to blocks, folding over that front leg. Keep pressing down into your back heel. Press into that front foot as if you're pressing the floor away. This will help to create lift into your hips. It will also help to buy some space through your front body and lengthen through your spine. Inhale, soft bend through the front knee, lift up. Hands to your hips. Rotating both feet around, face forward. Getting ready for a standing wide-legged forward fold. Deep breath in between poses. Hands to your hips, elbows work back toward each other. Set your legs up first, so pressing down into your feet. Thighs are firm and fold forward. Nice, long, flat back, hands to the floor. And folding forward. So I'm going to move to a side view. Now, if you like, you can spread your feet a little wider so that the crown of your head comes in contact with the floor. Create a little bit of a tilt forward so that your weight of your upper body is just adding enough weight so that there's a bit of pressure on the crown of your head, crown chakra, and also a mama point here. So I don't usually encourage headstand, but there's a really nice transition here. If you're familiar with headstand, make sure there's no furniture around you. You can actually go and lift from here, forearms to the floor, finding that comfortable place, the crown of your head on the floor with your hands cradling your head, lifting through the upper arms, No compression through the neck. Otherwise, just staying forward in forward fold. So if you are upside down, slowly lowering your legs down, coming back into standing forward fold. And whichever position you're in, hands to the floor, coming halfway up. Walk your hands over to your left ankle just for a quick stretch, just a couple of breaths. And over to the other side. Come back to center. Heel toe your feet in. And bring your heels underneath your hips. Toes turning out at a 45-degree angle, drop down into Malasana. Now just here, we're just letting everything balance out after being in that inverted position. And then come down into child's pose before we move down into seated postures. Giving our legs a break now. Take your fists stacked on top of one another and bring your forehead to rest on top of your fists. I can really feel the effects of all these inversions clearing my sinuses. It's like the heavens opening up in my face. Oh, kind of a feeling. All right, slowly come up. And take your legs out in front. Zip your feet together, zip your legs together, switching on all of your muscles. Flex your toes back toward you. Press down into your fingertips. Inhale in to lock your hands then and lift up, 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 up. Lengthen through your spine. Extended staff pose. Staying here for a few breaths. Keep pressing your palms up toward the ceiling as you flex your toes back toward you. Feeling a strong lift through your spine. Lower ribs drawing in as you continue to lift upwards. Exhaling, maintain that lift. And slowly release your hands, but folding forward over your legs. Taking hold of your ankles or your feet, or wrapping a belt around the soles of your feet. Keeping your legs nice and active, firming your thighs to help relax through your hamstrings. One more breath here. Inhale, lift up. Draw your right foot in. Bringing the sole of your foot to the inside of your left thigh. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Really trying to stretch out in these poses because these are preparatory poses for a more intense pose that we're about to do on our back, Paschimottanasana on our back. So the more we can kind of stretch out through our hamstrings, the more ease you'll experience in this supine pose. All right, change sides. Straighten out through the right leg, bring the left foot in. Inhale, lift, exhale, fold. And don't be afraid to go deep into the stretch. Scoop the belly in, lift and lengthen through your front body. Slowly lift up. Take your legs out in front. You're gonna make sure you've got space. You're gonna roll back onto our backs and do that same position of seated forward fold, but on our back. So you're essentially holding your legs and drawing your legs in toward your face. If that feels like, yeah, right, okay. If you're already feeling like you would like a prop, I would suggest taking a belt around the soles of your feet, just like you do with a seated forward fold, but you're going to be doing it in a reclined position. And you can even implement your belt here and then take it back. I actually couldn't find my belt before class, that's why I'm not, I'm not using it. I got these neat holes here in my tights I can grip onto. So come down onto your back, taking hold of your ankles, your toes, and then drawing the legs in towards your upper body. So it's going to look different for everyone. You're working with your breath. Inhaling and lengthening, exhaling, slightly drawing in. Try to relax your shoulders down away from your ears as you continue to draw your legs in. All right, to come out of this pose, we're going to rock ourselves up straight up to sitting. One more time, fold forward. And come back up. Beautiful. We're into a butterfly position now. And we're going to do the same but a wide-legged position. So butterfly is a little warm-up, external rotation, and then taking our legs out to the side. Flex your toes back toward you. Move back a little for the video. Lift and lengthen, folding forward. Walking your hands out or taking your hands out to the sides and folding forward. Propping yourself up however you need to. So might be just coming forward here, might be coming forward into your forearms, might be able to lengthen all the way forward. And keep pressing your knees down toward the floor, activating your thighs, flexing your toes back toward you. Couple more breaths here. Make your way up. Bring your knees in just for a moment, only to roll all the way down onto your back again. So you're on your back, and this time holding the toes, taking the legs out into a straddled position. So instead of doing it in a dynamic way like we usually do, going in and out, we're just going to take the legs out to the side, holding this position. And just encouraging your legs to straighten. A modified version would be to soft bend through your knees. So a little broader than happy baby. But really drawing your feet down toward the floor and lengthening your tailbone down toward the floor at the same time, shoulders down away from your ears. Staying here for a few more breaths. And then release, hugging your knees in. Hug your knees into your chest, lengthen your tailbone down toward the floor. And then cross your ankles over, taking hold of one foot in each hand, and then try to relax. Just a gentle sort of bind of your body. Relax, relax your hips. Close your eyes for a moment. This is such a comforting pose. Really nice and grounding, pacifying. Now switch your ankles over, other leg over the top, and take hold of one foot in each hand again. Close your eyes, relax. And release. Both feet to the floor. Take a breath. Okay. I'm going into bridge pose now to work into our spine. And as we go into bridge, option 2, I'll give you 2 options today. So for people who would like to work more on their spine flexibility, invigorating the nervous system, you have the option to slowly and gradually work your way into wheel pose, where you've got both hands on the floor going into a full half moon shape. For people who would like something a little bit more pacifying, going into an inversion, you can go from bridge pose and take your feet over your head into plow or up into a shoulder stand. So depending on how you're feeling, let's start in bridge and then progress over into a pose of your choice. Hands down by your sides, heels in nice and close to your hips. Inhale, lift up. Just slowly making your way into the pose. Grounding down through your feet, press down into your palms, lift the hips. Feel your chest moving in toward your chin. Then interlock your hands underneath your body, roll into the tops of your shoulders. Press into your feet, press into your forearms. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Keeping your knees working in. If that feels too strong on your hips or your lower back, you can try just stepping your feet out a little wider, which might help you to lift more comfortably into the pose. All right, slowly making your way now into whichever pose you're going into next. So if you're going down into wheel, lowering down and setting yourself up. If you're going over into one of the inversions, taking your hands under your hips, kicking yourself up and over. I'm going to go into wheel. Dare I? My goodness. So kind of inviting this to be a bit more of your internalized time, less instruction from me, just exploring your way into whichever pose you're practicing. But I do encourage you to just take it nice and slow. Don't feel like you have to fully express into any of the poses. Just take your time. Go into it stage by stage. You can try all 3 poses if you like. We do have time. Just make sure you take a little breath in between each pose. Now slowly starting to find your way out of the pose. If you went into wheel pose, hug your knees into your chest as a counter pose. Make some circles with your knees. If you were inverted in shoulder stand or plow, going into a sphinx pose, coming over onto your front forearms to the floor, just lifting and opening mainly through your chest and through your neck and upper back. And taking your time, taking any final stretches that your body is craving before we finish up with a spinal twist. Now, if you have a favorite spinal twist, go ahead and do it. We're just going to go into a classical spinal twist tonight. Feel free to choose your own adventure. So taking your right knee up and across your body. Right arm out at shoulder height, turning to look to the right. Encouraging your knee and your shoulder down toward the floor. Slowly come back to center, change sides. Straighten out through the right leg, bend the left knee, taking it across your body, arm out to shoulder height. Come back to center, hug your knees in. And make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. Take a blanket, jump around again if needed. Making yourself nice and comfortable. Noticing how you feel after your practice. And just letting your body relax and feel nice and heavy as it rests against the floor. We're going to go through a short guided relaxation and then move into some mindfulness practices and read a little excerpt from scripture from the Bhagavad Gita. So just starting by relaxing each body part as I mention it. Starting by taking your awareness all the way down to your feet. Relax your toes, from your big toes to your little toes. Relax the soles of your feet. And feel your heels getting heavier and heavier as they rest against the floor. Soften into your ankles and your lower legs. Relax your knees and all the tissues surrounding your knee joints. Relax your thighs, tops of your thighs, your inner thighs, outer thighs, and your hamstrings. Relax your left hip and your right hip. Soften into your pelvis and relax all the vital organs that are resting in your pelvic region. Relax your abdomen and all the organs for your midsection and your upper abdominal region. And feel the sides of your torso melting down toward the floor. Relax your chest, your ribs, and all the muscles in between each rib. Soften into your heart center. And relax your lungs. Feeling all the muscles and organs resting in your chest area, softening and releasing. Feel your collarbones broadening and relaxing. Relax your shoulders from the tops of your shoulders down and around your shoulder blades. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, wrists, and hands. Moving your awareness to your lower back area. Feel your sacrum broadening and releasing. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and your neck. Feel all the muscles either side of your spine relaxing and releasing. Your head is heavy and your face is soft. Relax from your temples down into your jaw. Relax your mouth. Feel your face to be soft and relaxed. Your entire body is heavy and relaxed. Just resting in this stillness and conscious awareness for a few breaths. Nothing else to do and nowhere else to be. Our mind is molded by our attitudes, by the activities we engage in, and the environment that we're in. And this determines our state of consciousness. As a spider's web and a silkworm's cocoon are both environments for living beings, one to protect and the other to entrap. Similarly, the spirit soul is enveloped or cocooned by the mind. The nature of the mind determines whether we are protected or entrapped by our mind and the inner world that we create. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "A man must elevate himself by his own mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will be the greatest enemy." So now if you close your eyes and watch the thoughts in your mind, just notice how it's like watching a movie. You are the silent witness. You are watching your mind, but you are not your mind or thoughts. Just spend a few more moments watching your thoughts, coming from that place of perception or understanding that you are the observer of them. Repeat the following meditation silently to yourself. I am the silent witness. I make no effort to think, but my thoughts come automatically. I am watching the thoughts flow through my mind, but I am aloof from them. I am the silent witness of my mind's activities. And this brings us to the mantra Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit, not matter. I am not the body. I am not the mind. The body is temporary. I am eternal. I am the eternal soul, the eternal spark of the Supreme Soul. I am detached from the worries and disturbances of the body and mind. Aham Brahmasmi. Practicing this kind of mindfulness regularly will help you to experience more detachment, freedom, and peace by learning to observe the content of your mind as being distinct from your true self, Atman. Slowly coming back into awareness of your body by wriggling your fingers and toes and rocking your head from side to side. Rolling over onto your right side before pressing yourself up to sit. We'll finish with just a 5-minute chant. So I'll sing through everything twice, like it's call and response. You can just join in as you feel comfortable. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddham Swarupananda Paramahamsa Iti Namine Bhajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Amrita Radha Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Bhajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Last time all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All right, let's bring our hands together in prayer position. Bowing our heads to offer our respects to each other. And bowing our heads to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Lovely
you so
to
much.
practice with you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Herbal. Oh, Sam's got an eye mask. That's perfect. Yes. Now you can just like, good night, world, and roll into bed. All right, everybody. Herbal. Namaste.